myself. My name is Oscar Darmawan. Currently, I'm the CEO of Indodax, which is the biggest Indonesia digital asset exchange. We have people who transaction between rupiah and digital assets. Currently, we have more than 40 pair of digital to Bali to come to this event. Later on, I will try to give some presentation, very basic presentation about what's happening in Indonesia, and also we will tell you about actually how's Indonesia ecosystem in terms of the digital way. And I will, if I say after my presentation, you guys have any question about Indonesia ecosystem or anything, please throw me any question. So, just to give some background, Indodax actually started as one of the pioneer of blockchain startup in Southeast Asia. We started in 2013. Back then, Bitcoin is still very cheap. But now, people call it bear market, but I think now it's still good price, because when we start in that time, Bitcoin is just about $500. Now it's about almost $6,000. It's 10 times. So for me, it's still bull market. So as today's topic that the BlockBali gave it to me about the public blockchain, I believe you guys know about the public blockchain and private blockchain. This year, many people are talking about private blockchain. They say private blockchain will change the world. They say private blockchain will really the true blockchain. But for me, I really thinking public blockchain still give a solution to many problems. And actually, public blockchain is better in terms of transparency. Public blockchain is better in terms of usage, and for other startup, especially for startup, to really implement private blockchain in their startup or in their company is something that I think is not really right, because actually blockchain is supposed to be transparent, supposed to be distributed. So actually, I'm really more into fans of public blockchain instead of private blockchain. So, well, back then since 2009, since the blockchain started to enter this internet market, we know until now a lot of companies have been start experiment with blockchain. Now a lot of them mentioned to the public that they have a prototype of blockchain. A lot of companies doing blockchain stuff because it's cool. Yeah. Many people doing blockchain only because they're thinking it's cool. Many companies doing blockchain only because they want to push their share price. But I know behind of that, many companies still really doing blockchain because they really understand how this technology will change the world. And I really believe this technology will change the world. Well, talking about bear market, I would like to give you some facts that I believe everyone in here already know. I understand now the global cap market for all token public blockchain now is only $184 billion, which is very small compared with early January 2018, which is $795 billion. Because it goes down a lot from 700 from almost $800 billion into almost $200 billion. So all people talking about bear market, and all people become very desperate. So as all our members, we have 1.5 million members. So I believe you guys understand how every day my WhatsApp have a message asking me why Bitcoin goes down a lot. But you guys need to, I believe we all understand. If we compare it 1 year ago, we compare it in 2017, January 2017, the global cap market for token public blockchain is only $17 billion, which is now already grown by more than 10 times, from $17 billion to $148 billion in 1 year, 1.5 years. So I really think now it's really bear market compared with the early year, but compared with last year, we are on the bull market. In terms of ecosystem, in 2016, there are only 644 token or coin in the public blockchain. In the 2017, there are 1,335. In the 2018 now, there is 2,032. This is the only token public blockchain that registered in the coin market cap. I believe everyone in here, maybe most of you, already try to create token blockchain, already try to create some coin in the blockchain or something else. So I believe you guys understand, not all token blockchain is registered in the coin market cap, because coin market cap has a specification how they can list your token, how they can list your public blockchain. So that's why I believe now there are more than 3,000 token blockchain actually in the market. Only 2,000 is registered in the coin market cap. Well, of course, this is the top public blockchain now. We can see the Bitcoin Cash. We just have some drama these 2 days. Monero, Litecoin, Dash, Ethereum, Stellar, Tron, Cardano, they are still the top in the public blockchain. If we talk about regulators, in the 2009 until now, we can see a lot of change in the regulation. Just talk about 2 years ago. No, 2 years, 3 years ago. In that time, all countries talking about how to ban Bitcoin. All countries talking about how to basically tell everyone in the community that this is illegal and this is Ponzi scheme, because most regulators don't understand about this innovation. But we see what happened now. Now we see that based on the map that I can show you here, all countries have some kind of like guidance, have some kind of like regulation about Bitcoin usage, about some of them even have about ICO related, some of them have guidance about mining, and even the tax, they already have a guideline for the tax. We can see that almost all countries now have about green color, only a little red here, a little yellow there, and in my country it's a yellow color. A bit sad, but still better than red. Now, in terms of legality of Bitcoin and the token of the blockchain, about 84% is unrestricted. Only 8% now is restricted, and still about 8% is illegal, meaning that we really cannot do anything with Bitcoin there. Sorry, break. Yeah. But as you see in the map, the red color is still very small, and I know that like in the Vietnam, the one that red color, it will have some guidance in the near future. So I believe slowly the red color will dismiss one by one. Hopefully by next year or in the following year, we can see all change into yellow color for the red color. Next. Yeah. Now let's talk about Indonesia. Indonesia is one of the I can say one of a big country in the world that has been not seen by outside people outside of Indonesia. Whenever I go outside of Indonesia, let's say I go to China or let's say I go to Europe. When I tell them I'm from Indonesia, normally they will ask me one question: where is Indonesia? Or they will ask me another question. Isn't Indonesia near Bali country? Because many people thinking Bali is another country, and all people in the world know Bali, but nobody know about Indonesia. So after that, normally I will explain to them that Indonesia actually one of the big country in the world. We have 260 million people in Indonesia. Then they're surprised. And after I showed them the map of Indonesia, they even surprised because I don't know why Indonesia has been hidden from Google Map. Nobody see Indonesia map. Yeah. That's what's happening outside of Indonesia. So all of you that not Indonesian but you know where is Indonesia and you know what's happening in Indonesia, then you are one of the smartest in the world. So Indonesia actually is a very interesting country. We are archipelago island. We have more than 13,000 islands. Yeah. And in terms of population, we are top 5 in the world. We have about 265 million people. And in terms of internet users, we are not so good. We are only 50% of our population have an internet. But our mobile user is bigger than our some of data say that our mobile user is bigger than 265 million. But based on the other data, they have said that our mobile user is about 150 million. So basically the average is around 177 million people actually have mobile users. And in terms of social media, we have 120 million people. So if you see the statistic of Twitter or the statistic of Facebook users, you always can see Indonesia on the top 5. Even they say that Jakarta one of the most noisy city in terms of Twitter user. So Indonesia digital society is quite big. Next. This is the data about the device usage. 60% of them using the smartphone, and television is still very popular in Indonesia. I know in other countries, many people do not really have a television anymore, but in Indonesia, in our family room, we still have television. Next. This something interesting about the attitude about the Indonesian people. Indonesian people always love to try the new thing. We like to try the new thing. We don't scare when there is something new in the innovation. So like the first time Facebook coming, the first time Twitter coming, or the first time P2P lending coming to Indonesia market, or even ride sharing. Our community accept it, even though sometimes our regulator not accept it. Just to let you guys know, peer-to-peer lending in the beginning of time, many of them thinking it's an illegal activity. But now peer-to-peer lending has been legal by Indonesian regulators. Ride sharing in Indonesia has been banned for one day. So in the morning, our government, one of the government said that ride sharing is totally illegal in the country. Then in the afternoon of time, thanks to our president, suddenly become legal. So we can see the attitude here, meaning that our regulators actually quite supportive for innovation. It's same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been declared legal many times in Indonesia, but in the same time, there is a regulator that says Bitcoin is not yet legal. So it's still positive. But nowadays, I meet quite a lot of regulators that say that Bitcoin actually is starting to get little legal. So there is an improvement of Indonesian government. And in terms of blockchain, all regulators have one voice now. That blockchain is one of the innovation that Indonesia need to start to get into it. So in terms of blockchain innovation, in terms of a blockchain ecosystem, is very welcome in Indonesia. So if you guys have any idea about how your company, blockchain company, can really help, especially help Indonesian people, help the Indonesian community, please come to Indonesia, do your innovation. As long as you not do something illegal, I think our regulator will support you. Then, next. But something I interesting about Indonesia market community is only 36% has bank account. So this is the real challenge in Indonesia. The real challenge in Indonesia, only few people have bank account. Because we are archipelago island. Only people in Sumatra, Java, and Kalimantan have bank account mostly. But if we talk about other islands, even in Bali, some people in the north of Bali do not have bank account. So this is the real challenge of Indonesia. How to make all people have become the financial inclusion. How to have all people to have access to the bank account. So, and in addition we talk about credit card. Only about 1% to 1% to 5%, the latest data, have a credit card. So all people in here, if you talk about shopping online, the shopping online in Indonesia is still, they do it through 2 ways mostly. One is bank transfer. Second, because they don't have bank account, they do it through COD. Maybe in your country there is no such thing as COD, but in Indonesia there is COD. Meaning you buy it online, but later on the courier need to come to the person, then they give you cash. We are cash society. Indonesia is cash society. Indonesia is really cash society. But that's why, next. That's why later I will discuss it about how actually blockchain is really fit into Indonesia market. But to give you some conclusion about what's happening in Indonesia in terms of commodity, in terms of data before, and in terms of how Indonesian government thinking about blockchain, the Indonesian token blockchain has been classified as commodity. It's been classified as commodity. Don't try to classify digital asset as currency. When you try to classify your token blockchain as currency, I believe it will really become the huge challenge for your company. In Indonesia now, most people who understand about blockchain and all the stuff is still very limited. The medium level of understanding is still medium to low level. Not many people understand how to do innovation through blockchain. Not many engineers know well about blockchain and how to program it and so on. So still, the most participants is speculators. And I would like to highlight one more time. There is a lot of high percentage of unbanked people in Indonesia. And the other challenge is because there is a lot of misunderstanding from the media and some of the regulators. So this is the true challenge, the misunderstanding from Indonesian media. And I believe you guys understand how media works. For media, if they report something bad, it means good traffic for them. If you report something good, it means low traffic for them. So some media actually tend to try to misunderstanding about blockchain. So when you have something good, normally they still make it into something bad. So it's good traffic. But I see a lot of changes now. This year I can see a lot of media start become very literal about blockchain. It's start to happening. In Indonesia, start a lot of change happen this year. But because of the Bitcoin price really high in the early of year and now become really low, not comparing with last year. So still a lot of people actually they have a very bad feeling about this Bitcoin and all the blockchain stuff. But I think human is always good at adapting. Human is always good at adapting. Maybe now we are this shocked seeing Bitcoin price around $5,000. I think if Bitcoin manages to stay at $5,000 until next year, I think all people will get used to it. Well, now let's talk about Indonesia. Indonesia is a country with young demographic. Our average is below 30 years old. So in terms of Indonesian people, actually I'm old. I'm 33. Because the average in Indonesia is below 30 years. Yeah. So I'm really sorry for everyone who come here more than 30 years, same as me. But in Indonesia, you are very old. In here, next. Yeah. In here, people is a high percentage of unbanked people, and people have better access to internet than to banks, based on the statistic. So, if you meet farmer in Indonesia, sometimes they use smartphone. Many of them use smartphone, but they don't have bank account. Yeah. So that's why I know that there is some project in Indonesia as well in terms of blockchain. They try to targeting farmer people. They try to have farmer people get access to the blockchain and to the financial sectors, which is a good project, I think. And I think the project just get endorsement by Amazon. Yeah. And yeah. But another challenge that make this challenge make a good thing for the blockchain sector in Indonesia, because in Indonesia there are a lot of corruption in many industries. Yeah. There's a lot of corruption in many industries, and if you talk about blockchain, my purpose is to make everything transparent, is to make everything distributed, so we can trust the system, and between institutions that can working each other, they can trust the blockchain, because blockchain cannot lie. Yeah. So I think that's why Indonesia become very good place to make an experiment of the blockchain. It can try to reduce the corruption level, and it can have give people to the access to the unbanked people. Yeah. And Indonesian people is very welcome with innovation. And in terms of regulators, in here regulators is quite friendly about blockchain innovation. So Indonesia is a good place for innovation. In terms of Bitcoin, actually lately there is changes in terms of how government will regulate Bitcoin in Indonesia. As I mentioned, Bitcoin in Indonesia is more considered as commodity instead of currency. So in the future, Ministry of Trade and the Future of Exchange Supervisory Board, it is BlockBali, will try to come up with a framework and regulation how actually to regulate this token public blockchain. So I know in some country the one who regulates it is a central bank. I know in some country the one who regulates it is financial regulators. But in our country, the one who regulates token blockchain is a Ministry of Trade, because it classified as commodity. Yeah. But in terms of financial regulators, which is OJK, actually OJK also just released guidance about last month about how actually startup in Indonesia can get involved with token blockchain. I think after this we will have a good panel with the Indonesian regulator. That I think will be interesting panel. You guys can understand well what Indonesian regulators. Next. Well, I think that's my presentation. I always believe Bitcoin to the moon. Yeah. So. Do we still have a time for a question? No? Okay, and then I will come you guys if you have any question. Please find me in front and ask me anything. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Oscar, for the insightful session. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have a very interesting panel discussion you've all been waiting for. I would like to call upon Pak Dani Baskara, CEO of Fixanium, to take the stage. Mr. Dani will be the moderator for this panel session. I now call our panelists, Pak Alvin Taulu, Head of Licensing Subdivision, Directorate of Regulating, Licensing and Supervision of FinTech, the Indonesian Financial Service Authority, Otoritas Jasa Keuangan. Pak Nyoman Sastra, Financial Forensic Researcher, Financial Transaction Reports and Analysis Center, Intrac, and Dr. Edi Priyopangbudi, Assistant to Deputy Minister of Monetary and Balance Payment, Coordinating Ministry for Economic Affairs, to come and take the stage. And we can begin the panel session. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the panelists.
Selamat siang semuanya. Good afternoon, everyone. So today our session will be panel discussion with Pak Numan, Pak Alvin, and Dr. Edi. In this panel discussion, we have some questions that we want to ask with the panelists. Yeah. First is our question is to Pak Nyoman Sastra. Pak Nyoman Sastra is Financial Forensic Research and Financial Transaction Report Analysis Center. So first question is for Pak Nyoman, is how to protect business from criminal using yeah. So from the panelists, they want to presentation first, and later we will be discussingnya. Jadi pertama kali kita akan lanjutkan ke pemaparan dari para panelis. Mereka akan membicarakan apa yang akan mereka sampaikan dahulu, lalu nanti kita lanjutkan dengan panel diskusi.
Good morning. Is it morning? Oh, now my watch is in Jakarta 10:30. I think this is not my presentation. Can someone help me to look at my presentation? So, thank you very much to have me here, and it's very pleasure for me to explain to you in front of you about our views from OJK about blockchain and cryptocurrency or crypto technology. It's a bit awkward also that because this is Bali, some of you wearing a suit and tie, while I will wear something like this. These people very, very formal, but it's Bali, right? Let's make it fun. So, again, my name is Alvin. I'm from the Directorate of the Supervision, Regulation, and the Licensing of financial technology in OJK. What OJK regulate about fintech is a bit different with this kind of topic. Our focus mainly on fintech peer-to-peer lending. But what is the relation with the blockchain and cryptocurrency? So here's we would like to give the background first. Okay, the first slide, please. So, if talking about the crypto technology and the blockchain, it cannot be differentiated. Next saja langsung aja. So, based on our research, if talking about crypto technology, actually is about the technology about the safety information protocol. For example, I know all of you, some of you really aware about the crypto, really aware about blockchain, but some of you still not. So let me give you the example. If talking about the crypto technology, there is a protocol in. Can I have this? Oh, this one. Okay. Talking about the crypto technology, this is about the safety protocol, how to ensure this kind of technology will not get a attack or malware from the outside. This technology has also what we call as a public key and private key. For example, the first one, read one. Read one is actually the name of my staff, and Nabila is my staff also over there. Hi Nabila. For example, she would like to have a kind of to open to buy the crypto Bitcoin, for example. So Nabila has the public key. The public key itself of Nabila is encrypted also. But in this one, when they have this to the system, Nabila has another kind of key, what we call as a private key of the system itself. This is what we call as the safety protocol of the crypto technology, public key and private key. I think this is something very basic about it, but this is something we need to understand first. The second one, next. No, this one. Langsung yang lain. Yang ketiga. So, based on that, if talking about crypto technology, it cannot be differentiated between blockchain also. Sorry, this is the presentation in Indonesia because I thought some of you understand Indonesia, but let me explain English. If talking about blockchain itself, actually it's like a distributed ledger of each server, but is connected each other through the special protocol to ensure the data is very safety and secure. But not only that, everything really recorded and cannot be replaced, cannot be make a fake one. And the amazing thing from this kind of technology, everybody in the system, in the server, is the server also. So it's like democratization of the server about it. So the blockchain concept is introduced by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2008 and implemented on 2009 as a part of they want to make the first one is Bitcoin. Next. So our stand as a regulator, especially for financial industry, we have some research about empirical study. Bitcoin, for example, Bitcoin as a currency. So, if talking about the background of this, Bitcoin really move on, and not only very growing up on the capital market crisis on 2007-2008. Most of the people at the time really don't trust at the central bank, and at the time also to the fiat money. And finally, Bitcoin at the time was invented. Not only that, to make sure that government does not have interfere and control the supply and demand of the money at the time. So, based on the statement above, Bitcoin as a currency, we really get the research also that government and central bank have tendency to make the money oversupply. This is the background of the Bitcoin and blockchain. But the underlying of the fiat money is about trust, paper, and also and paper. At the same time, there was also the money is very expensive from the credit card, origination from the banks. If someone wants to lend the money from the banks, basically the money is very expensive. So this is the reason why Bitcoin as a currency, that the blockchain as a system, the trust to the government is very low. Central bank have a tendency to make the oversupply the money. So here's happened after that. Next. But we really have a research also that Bitcoin is not as a currency. So every treatment of the law in every country is different. Not only is in Indonesia, in every country is different. Depend on the common law or the civil law. Goldman Sachs also stated that Bitcoin can be seen as a currency, financial asset, or commodity. But we also see that most of the users of the Bitcoin treated Bitcoin as an asset, as mentioned by Oscar before here. So, but not only that, some also said Bitcoin as the cryptocurrency as the investment instrument, which will not give the negative impact to the monetary stability and economic stability. So, but the most important that the purpose, the beginning purpose of to make the blockchain cryptocurrency is how to make sure that to reduce the third party of this kind of the system. How to reduce the fee of transaction, leverage the transparency, to ensure the settlement time, reduce the default risk. So, as a system, we have to see that blockchain is very powerful and will be the next of the industrial revolution 4.0 in Indonesia. Next. So, if talking about the crypto technology argument, as I said before, the government and central bank have tendency to make the money oversupply. This is argument. The underlying of fiat money is about trust, paper, and nickel. But not only that, there is a lot of fee of the credit card, and bank charge very expensive. But the most important that the encryption system is centralized. So based on that argument, they say that the security of this kind is very, very low. Next. So if talking about the ICO, crypto technology, this is what happened from 2014 until 2017. A lot of ICO in this world. Tesos, Filecoin, EOS, Paragon, Polkadot, DAO, so many kinds. And it's racing all the time. Even in Indonesia, what else? Vexanium, Tokenomics, Luno, so many kinds. Next. So let me explain to you about, if talking after ICO, but we need also to find out what happened to the Bitcoin and the blockchain, crypto technology itself. This is the journey of the Bitcoin from 2017 until now. The first one is the one who made this. This is the what happened, but not only that, the price of the Bitcoin itself is what we call as uptrend. Some have said it's going down. Yes, it's going down, but it's uptrend like this. Always like this. Until December 2017, this is the highest of the price of the Bitcoin. But right now it's different, yeah, Oscar, yeah? Like this. Tokenomics also like this. Sorry, I invest in tokenomics. Oh my god. Hopeless. Hopeless, or there is a hope. Hopefully. Next. Oh, next. So this is the funny story of the if talking about the whole story of the Bitcoin. The first transaction of the Bitcoin in the world is someone, I don't know who's the name, but someone to buy the pizza. Aslo. He used Bitcoin less than 1 penny and paid the Bitcoin for $1,000 or 1,000 Bitcoin. 10,000. I think that's the most richest pizza vendor who get the Bitcoin. You can say 10,000 Bitcoin for the pizza. Wow, I want to do that also. 10,000 Bitcoin for ayam penyet. Yeah, so if talking about the history, it's very, very funny. Nobody knows about what happened to this kind of things. No underlying. Everybody's still confused. What is this? But there is hope for this kind of a new kind of technology for the economical in the world. So next. So if talking about the mechanism of the Bitcoin circulation, this is the mechanism. All the miners using the based on our this one, use the server to mining the Bitcoin. This is very theoretical, but the most important that all the system is really peer-to-peer, from someone to someone. They use the Bitcoin, they mine Bitcoin, they get Bitcoin. It's really peer-to-peer. It's like our regulation also, fintech peer-to-peer lending. But this is a peer-to-peer Bitcoin, crypto technology. Next. But another effect of because of the mining, if you see that, because it happened also to the electricity. In Canada, you can see they already spent 18 megawatts. The highest in China, 111 megawatts. And I think in Indonesia, I don't know in Indonesia, Oscar, is there any research about electricity usage in Indonesia because of the mining? We don't know, but it creates another economical aspect. Mining, electricity, they buy server, they buy so many kind, yeah, give the benefit also to the country. Next, this is what we want to see, that if talking about mining, now the terminal of mining is quite different. Gold mining, you digging the soil, you got gold. Corporate mining, you digging the ground, you get gold. But now, different. Virtual mining. You can see this is corporate mining, this is happened in China. And individual mining, now in Indonesia, you can buy from Bukalapak, Tokopedia, just to buy the server is only 90 million rupiah. But how to do this mining how to do the mining? Simple. We need the electricity, we need the device, we need the cryptocurrency and the fiat money to exchange the cryptocurrency. Next. This is from Oscar actually. The tokenomics sales. No need. He will explain. Oh. Next. So, what is the difference between cryptocurrency and e-money? Based on the transaction, Bitcoin using internet, using the internet, but e-money using the device such as mobile phone or special devices from a merchant. Apa namanya tuh yang gini-gini? Di Alfamart? EDC. Gila, saya lupa. So EDC, mobile phone, that's for the e-money. From the value itself, derived from the supply and demand, and the system and the trust to the system itself. But for the e-money, same. You got e-money, 10,000 rupiah is the same with the fiat money, 10,000 rupiah. The identity of the usage of the crypto, pseudonymous. You can find that person, not anonymous, but pseudonymous. So, but we can track who's that one. But for the e-money, Pak Nyoman will explain, because they use the financial action task force. We don't know who used the money, but the flow of the money, they use anti-money laundering. Who published the crypto? Yeah, because of the mining. The blockchain itself, based on supply and demand. E-money, central bank. Who is the publisher? By blockchain system. But e-money, legal entity in Indonesia, banks, who create the e-money, something like that. Regulation and supervision. This is something very important. No, back again. Regulation or supervision, this is very interesting. Until now, crypto technology is not supervised or there is no regulation about it. Actually, BlockBali is being tried to make the regulation about it. I was part of the meeting, but I don't know what is the current condition. But in money, clear, supervised and regulated by authority, especially Bank Indonesia, Central Bank. Next. So, if talking about the crypto technology, what is the benefit for the economical aspect in Indonesia? From OJK, we believe this, not talking about crypto technology, talking about blockchain itself. We believe that blockchain is the future of the industrial revolution 1.0. Will change everything from the economical and financial aspect. But not only that, to minimize the economic deadweight loss. For example, like this. What is economic deadweight loss? Tokenomics was produced and published in Singapore, right? Everybody buy the tokenomics through the system, but using the banking system in Singapore. They got the money, they pay the tax and everything. But in Indonesia, we don't have any regulations about it. We don't have specific regulation on the crypto technology. If someone would like to have the ICO, see, we lost everything. We lost the tax, we lost the income, the investment of the about this. This is what we call the economic deadweight loss. But not only that, this crypto also we believe to enhance the speed and the volume of trade through the e-commerce, global e-commerce. You know very well about the remittance. If talking, if using the blockchain, very fast, zero fee about that. And number 4, the most important for us that we believe that blockchain and crypto technology is will increase the potential of this country to have the tax income, and the most important that reduce the capability of the government to monitor about the anti-money laundering transaction, terrorism transaction, something like that. So this is what we call as a benefit of the crypto technology. Next. So, like I said, like I explained to you before, this is what we call the industrial revolution. What happening right now? If talking about the first financial industrial revolution until now, you know, the fourth industrial revolution, cyber physical system, merging of real and virtual worlds. So talking about not only about it, but we believe blockchain will be the future of financial industrial revolution. Next. No. Terus. So this is the legal aspect of the technology in several countries. In USA, until Belgium, or something like that. And this country, not only G7, G10, or G20, most of the country already regulate the crypto technology in every country. And the interesting part, if talking about the financial literacy, even G10, G7 or G20, the literacy rate in those countries very high. That's why, while the literacy and inclusiveness of the people about the financial is very high, they're very easy to regulate the crypto and the blockchain in the country. Next. Meanwhile, like in Asia itself, only Japan who regulate the crypto itself. Indonesia, we are still don't have the regulation. But you know, if talking about that, the financial inclusion in Indonesia still is very low. That's why we believe this kind of method also will change the behavior in Indonesia, the lifestyle, and hopefully it will increase the financial inclusion in Indonesia. Next. So this is the legal aspect. Cryptocurrency, this is money or asset or something like that. It's clearly stated by the law in Indonesia. The currency in Indonesia, by the law, only rupiah. Through money, through the paper and nickel and e-money. Clearly stated, everybody must use rupiah as a currency. So, what I'm trying to say, the crypto as a currency doesn't have a solid law in Indonesia to be admitted as a currency. Clearly stated. So, by the law, crypto is not a money. Next. And the regulation of the currency from Bank Indonesia, Central Bank, Bank of Indonesia. How about crypto as a security asset or effect? Clearly stated also that in Indonesia, by the law number 8 of 1995 about the capital market, crypto currency cannot be admitted also as a security asset. Why? Because no dividend, there is no shareholder over there. There is no legal entity, clearly legal entity about that. So meaning, cryptocurrency doesn't have a solid also law to be admitted as a effect or security asset. Clearly about that. Next one. How about commodity? Actually, this is a long journey. Our discussion with BlockBali, PPATK, and the financial, all the financial industry, based on law number 10, 2011, that what is commodity? Commodity clearly stated as all goods, rights, every interest, derivatives can be traded. It can be the subject of the considered as a commodity. But not only that, the trading of through the electronic system can be used the device and electronic procedure. Cryptocurrency also, we realize that this is consist goods that can be traded and exchanged as a cryptocurrency with other commodity through the electronic system. So, based on our research, crypto as a commodity has a solid law to be treated as a crypto commodity in Indonesia. So this is the law about the commodity. The next one. Next. So I think let's stop dulu. Back again. Commodity. I think this is from our side to share about the legal status of the cryptocurrency and blockchain as a technology. I think my friend Pak Nyoman and Pak will explain more detail about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alvin from OJK about the presentation. I'm welcoming our next speaker is Pak Iman from Financial. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, moderator. My name is Noman. Luckily, you have me here. I'm Balinese, so I'm more famous than other Indonesian, like Oscar said, that Bali more famous than Indonesia. So I'm working as a financial intelligence unit, as a financial forensic researcher. So my responsibility is to watchdog the money laundering and terrorist financing. Here, I'm talking about why you need to shift your business. You do your business, increase your income, get money, but be aware, because you are inherently vulnerable. Why? Why you need to shift your business? Because criminal is everywhere, bad people is everywhere, and so that's why I need to. Let's start with my slide. The video is during around 10 minutes video. So shift your business, because money laundering, ML, TL, terrorist financing, and risk exists. Okay, I know that you create your business for going concerns, your business for futures for many years. But when criminals' money, proceed of income, proceed of illegal money come to your business, that can be dangerous. Why? Because you will see the consequence, criminal consequence or any monetary sanction consequence. Imagine that who do you want your brother, your sister, kids, friends to be friends with? A good people or bad people? A good people or bad people? It should be good people. Like government, like Pak Oscar said, as long as you do legal way, not illegal way, government will support you. That's very important statement from Oscar this morning. So you have to cooperate with good people, because we already identified. I already conducted research for 2 years to identify the risk of our country for the criminal related to money laundering and terrorist financing. You will see in the slide. Money laundering is massive here. Like Oscar also in the previous slide mentioned about corruption. It's in many fields of institutions and also human trafficking and everything. This is the result of our research. The red side is the most dangerous criminal in Indonesia, which is related to money laundering. This can be a capital market, banking fraud, tax crime, corruption, and the number one is drugs. So you have to be aware if you have a customer related to drugs syndicate, your partner is related to drugs groups, or anything related to the criminal. This is our research with 20 stakeholders. We identify this risk in our country. So the risk is everywhere, including, it's not just for banking business, it's not just for non-banking business, but also for your business as well. So you need to be aware of this. Financial crime risk is becoming one of the, you are becoming the target because you are inherently vulnerable. This is one video to show you.
A National Narcotics Agency money laundering investigation has uncovered 3.6 trillion rupiah in illegal drug money linked to a drug syndicate which had long been targeted by BNN, with 7 suspected members being charged following the find. BNN had Commissioner General.
This transaction involved in 15 countries.
Activity was first initiated in March.
Around 3.6 trillion rupiah. It's a big money. Also this one. Bad people, they have fake document. They cannot open a bank account. They use a woman in Indonesia, particularly the foreigners. They get married and register marriage and ask the woman, ask the wife to open the account, the bank account, or particularly the wallet money or the Bitcoin account, possible. And they use this account to conduct drugs transactions. Beware, If you have this kind of customers, because perpetrators is not always come with a legal document. They sometimes illegal, so they use this kind of patterns just to conduct to launder the money. This is our country. Many jurisdictions, many countries in the world should fulfill this kind of standard. It's coming from FATF, like Alvin already mentioned. FATF is the international transaction who watchdog the money laundering and terrorist financing around the globe. So it's not just only the government, Indonesia, the country should fulfill this kind of requirement, but you, as a business, as a private sector, also should be aware of this kind of standard. You have to fulfill this, because if you not, because this one, you are inherently vulnerable. So you have to understand how the criminals launder the money, how terrorists financing their activity. You have to be aware of this. You have to understand this. Your partner, your customer, your investor, be aware about the bad money if they come to your business, because you are vulnerable. Why vulnerable? Because not yet very well regulated, like banking sectors. This is why to understand how the criminal laundering their money from the ill-gotten money, from the proceeds of criminal, they do placement. They place the money to the bank, or they place the money to your financial asset providers, to the wallet, to the exchangers, and then layering transfer those Bitcoin or those money to another marketplace, probably from Index to Binance or to Coinbase or somewhere, and they use the money. They use the money to, like this one, buy a luxurious car. They launder the money by establishing a new company, traveling, and mostly luxurious life. This is for criminal. This is a process that they do money laundering, starting from collecting illegal money, from drugs, corruption, human trafficking, scam, ICO scams, or any investment scams. This is money laundering. This is what is the terrorist financing, how terrorists move their money, collect their money. The important is terrorists does not the money coming from the illegal money. They can be legal money. They collecting money. They store the money to virtual asset providers or to the bank and move the money to somewhere else, multinationally, and they used to commit terrorist attacks. Or dangerously, they maintain their business like this. They expand their networking. This is very, very dangerous for our society. So that's why the government very concerned with the public safety and also the customer protection. So that's why you need to be aware that they are everywhere. This is the cycle. So you need to understand this, understand how the terrorists, how the money laundering doing their business, particularly related to your business providers. The terrorist financing, they're all very good people. They're all very well-educated people. The three of them, two are IT men, one is an accountant. They're all terrorists. They do hacking, cyber crimes. Is it around $600,000 US, the money can be hacked, and then ask the wife to open the account, to transfer the money, and then send the money to another party, including to one of the terrorist groups. This is the terrorist group here. This is one way of how terrorists, well-educated terrorists, collecting their money. It can be move their money through your business, through virtual asset service providers, through ICO, initial coin offering, or anything that related to your blockchain business. This is the way in Indonesia currently, the way they move, the evolution of the movement of the terrorists. They're not doing robbery or anything that a hard job they do as cyber crimes, because most of the terrorists are very well educated. This is one of the using of peer-to-peer lending for the terrorist activity. The sambil dan the shooting. this happened in US, that
memiliki hubungan dengan kelompok teroris ISIS.
they collected money from peer-to-peer lending for around 28,000 something to buy guns, bullets, and
Setelah serangan itu
any explosive materials.
historinya dan menemukan dia telah mengeluarkan janji kesetiaan.
This one also, woman accused of money laundering
U.S. authorities arrested an American woman for allegedly laundering
by sending Bitcoin to
currency.
a group of ISIS in Syria.
Prosecutors say 27-year-old Pakistani-born Zubia Shanaz took out $85,000 in fraudulent loans and credit cards. They say she used this money to buy Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. She then allegedly transferred the money to the Islamic State through wire transfers to Pakistan, China, and Turkey. However, her lawyer said
This one also another case, a very young boy, 7 years old.
About the 17-year-old sentenced for helping a high school classmate in his bid to join ISIS. I want to bring in NBC News.
In the internet, he teach how to selling the Bitcoin to terrorist group.
Well, we know a lot more than we did just a few minutes ago. We know, for example, his name. It's Ali Shukri Amin. He's 17 years old from Woodbridge, Virginia. And he pleaded guilty today in federal court. These guilty pleas.
This one is related to drugs.
Bitcoin exchanges, BitInstant.
BitInstant is one of big exchangers,
Was involved in a drug money.
work together with the drugs syndicates, moving the syndicate money through Bitcoin.
Charges have come as quite a shock to anybody in the Bitcoin community, anybody that knows Charlie Shrem, a huge pioneer of the Bitcoin currency. Now, federal prosecutors are alleging that Charlie Shrem
This one is a massive multinational criminal related to virtual exchange. Starting from Canada, the syndicates establishing illegal TCA and then move the money to Hong Kong to buy property, luxurious goods. From the bank, from Hong Kong, the money also coming from the Panama and Luxembourg. This is the transaction is very fast because it is using a wallet transactions, and this is still under investigation of Canadian government authority. The Financial Action Task Force, just last month, October 2018, jurisdiction should ensure that virtual asset service providers are subject to IML and safety regulation. They should be licensed or registered and subject to monitoring to ensure compliance. This includes assessing and understanding the risks associated with virtual assets. And their jurisdiction apply a risk-based IML safety regulation to virtual asset service providers. Just the last month, a very new regulation under Regulation 15. So what do you have to do? You have to including your IML and safety program incorporated in your company programs. Doing QIC, know your customer, identify your customer, verify your customer. If your customer conducting suspicious activity, you have to report it to the authority agency for the reporting suspicious activity. And this to protect your company from money laundering and terrorist financing. This is money laundering terrorist financing risk. Then you have to equip the AML and CFT platform in your business. Maybe next year or a couple of years, you will a regulation in Indonesia. As mentioned as previous speaker, that cryptocurrency as treated as the commodities, consequences as the financial asset service providers should create sectoral risk assessments. They have to do the risk-based approach. They have to assess customer profile, regions, products, delivery channels, typology, and red flag, like I mentioned earlier. Related to this one, they have to maintain the record keeping. Why are they doing this? It is because criminal is everywhere. It just not save your business, but also save the country. The assets, the preventive measure, you can suspend the account, or the criminal can freeze the account if there is an indication of money laundering with your customer. So you can report also to FIU or any other authorities for suspicious transaction report, the SDRs. Banking report for kind of this. maybe next time, because under regulation, you will report something, particularly for the suspicious activity conducted by your customer. This is one of transaction monitoring that you need to know, or you need to maintain in your business. Pump and dump. Many customers having lost every second in the marketplace business. There are so many criminals, and the price drops suddenly, but not like economy. Economy just slowly. It's suddenly. That's very dangerous. This is the consequences. Okay? If you do not save your business, if you fail to do so, this is consequences. Like one of the big banks in the world has been have a monetization by the government because of negligence. They do not report the money laundering. They do not report any suspicious connected by the customer, by their partner. This is the consequences if you do not equip the AML safety program in your business. Another consequence happened in the one of the big bank as well.
$300 million, that's 225 million euros, to New York's banking regulator. The settlement follows allegations that the British bank had failed to properly check possible money laundering, despite agreeing to do that. Computer systems that were supposed to track international cash transfers apparently failed to do so. The problem was identified through monitoring put in place 2 years ago after the bank was found to have deliberately removed identifying information from transactions linked to Iran, which was under US sanctions.
So, thank you.
Thank you, Pak Jamal Sastra, as the second panelist. Next, for third panelist, from Dr. Edi Priyo Pambudi, from Asisten Deputi Menteri Moneter dan Neraca Pembayaran, Deputi Menteri Bidang Koordinasi Ekonomi Makro dan Keuangan.
Thank you very much. Welcome to Bali, everyone. I think it's a good moment, even this is very challenging conference, because even everybody in this room perhaps my mind's at the beach, right? And I also just noticed to the committee to replace the 2017-2018 before stepping into the stage, because I just sent pictures to my friends, and then my friend said, this is last year, right? Because it's noted by 2017, not 2018. Then now the committee just fixed it. All right, so in the beginning, I just want to get the lesson learned experience, how to educate our kids, for example. When our kids question about, may I ride bicycle? And then as parents say, no, you will be fall down. And then when we grow up to be, can I cook a food by myself? Then we say as a parent, no, your hand will be burned. And then again, if we grow up to be, can I drive a car? And then, yes, as a parent, we say no, because you can get accident. Then, finally, as a government official is growing up, then someone comes to us, allow me to find a way how to create a business. Then I will say no, because this is an experience to say no, yeah, from the kid until now. Why then it looks so frightening? So that's why, sorry, I just want to see another angle of this business, because everyone I think is already understand here. If we talk about Bitcoin, it's always blockchain. But we talk about blockchain, it's not always Bitcoin, because we can also use this technology for another thing, right? So, blockchains, we believe this is unconventional alternative infrastructures, because now is the era that we have to connect one by one, yeah, because we need to have a connection. We need to have a cooperation one to another, because we cannot just stand alone. Suppose that you already buy a new computers, new laptop, without any internet, what happened? You buy a smartphone without a signal, and then what? So we need a connection. But in fact, here you are. This is the fact. Sometimes we miss the connection. So that's why if we take a look here, I just want to have a very little story about this one, because I attended a high-level meeting when we want to decide blockchain as a commodity, and also, talking about the cryptocurrency as well. Yes, central banks already prohibited as a payment system. Then, so sorry, OJK at that time, Tirta also stated that this is not the financial services area. Okay. And then now, the Ministry of Finance, we discussed with the Ministry of Finance. At that time, they said this is not priority. Then we have an opportunity now with the Ministry of Trade, because we want to know about the technology behind of the crypto itself, and why we have to block the innovations come to this country, because we also need to connect with the other, right? And then many people question about what is the core of the problem. They always say underlying assets. What the underlying asset is trust. Wherever your business, the underlying asset is trust. Take a look your money notes, rupiah notes for example. What is the underlying asset? Is it securitized by gold? No. It's just by statement. With the gold glass, and then the central bank issues this money with the denominated 100,000 rupiahs. Take a look also in Malaysia, in US, for example, in dollar. In gold we trust. That's the underlying assets. As long as we can convince to the public that this system is very secure, then the public will trust. All right. Here you are. This is the potential interconnectivities for the development. For the state now, our governments try to develop infrastructure massively in everywhere. Yeah, because we look like left behind compared with other countries. In terms of connectivity in this case, if they don't have any data sources to connect one to another, I think it's still a problem. For example, we will launch MRT, for example, in Jakarta, but we don't have any data sources to process the movement of the trains, so we miss a good schedule for the train itself, right? Even for logistics, for example, it is very difficult to arrange the connectivity of the logistics if we don't have any good integrated data sources. So then in the next stage is why then we have to process acceleration. Then you have to come the technology. You need to integrate between data sources, infrastructures to accelerate the process. Then we will enjoy with the development of the economy. Yeah. So these three stages will be running as soon as possible. And this is the real case from the government side. For example, now we try to collect data for services development sectors. Yeah, we know that based on the GATS, based on the global service development, we have more than 100 types of services sectors. And in Indonesia, we regulate among 24 ministries and institutions. Then we have to collect data one by one from the ministries. Otherwise, the National Statistic Bureau will just depend on the surveys. Then what the result is? Even you have activities, even you manage flow of money, billions rupiah, but it is not yet recorded by the national statistic. So then why our GDP is undervalued? Because so much activity is not yet recorded in National Statistic Bureau. Why? Because there is no any connection of data. So this is a challenge. When we try to collect the information across the ministries, then we need the technology. Otherwise, we have to send the papers, send an email, whatever, and then they have to make a checklist by manual, by on papers, and then they have to send. And then what happens if the data is updated? Then they have to do, and so on and so on. So I think it's not in practice. Then another case now, online single submission. We really aggressive to repair this process. Why? Because when the new business want to come to the real market, they have to deal with many documentation, and then they have to arrange the documentation from one office to another office. They have to get the tax registration, they have to get the corporation license, whatever. And based on experience, like a mining corporation, they need to have 100 documentation, and takes almost 5 years to get all license. I think it's impossible. Yeah, we have a technology now, and then we try to put into in one system we call online single submission. So means all documentation will be represented only one paper, only one paper. And then why is so difficult? Because this is the challenge also. Because we just depend on the very old data is collected by survey, and then it is not yet standardized among institutions. So that's why in the real case of OSS, it still have a problem when data from one source to data to compare with another data, there's a problem. So that's why this OSS also needs a blockchain, because they have to connect from one data source to another data source, from one government to another government. Then we will see how best our data then. Who is governments who really best in manage the data? Sometimes we don't realize, right? Every day we create data. Before you enjoy your food, you will take a pictures, right? And then put into the Instagram, for example. That is a part of, as example, that you always create data. All right. Now, however, there's a major challenge right here. Yeah. Sorry. Here you are. Good data documentation is not yet the cultures. Yeah. We have our activities, but in the end, we not yet make a documentation for the activities. Then we have to change it the culture set. Another thing is the sectoral based data. We know data is created in one sector to another sectors, but we don't have a means of connection. How to connect from data to another data. All right. Here you are. Yeah. Also, this is another potential. It's already released by presidential regulation number 18 about e-governance, and it will be mandatory in 2022. So every government should have data driven on decision making. So this potential, you can also offer the technology of blockchains to make a data driven. Suppose that this is mandatory for the governments when they have information. But in implementation is still centralistic. So that's why we need to think what the best design for this regulation. Then this is the step forwards for the blockchains. One is how then who's the blockchain technology information here? It's just like an event. You have many events, and good events also invite many people from different perspectives, and then we try to create a conclusion. Then you need to also to enhance the users and the society. Yeah, sometimes because the misunderstanding of the language, then we miss the connection. The other one is you have to use the critical system. Means that you need to have a showcase. You need to have an example, and it is critical, so that every sector will find you, yeah, to implement your technology. And then we need to have a produce data scientist, because if you bring this technology but you don't have people to fill in, so I think it's impossible you run the business, or you just depend on another work, yeah, to fill in the data sources as a data scientist. Here you are. Then we need these two. One is how to produce data scientists. So with some friends now, we try to develop a training centers in the small city named Malang, close to Surabaya. Why we use the small city? Because we need to have an on-street exercise. I mean, we put the exercise on the city to take the data from the real world, and then we try to put into the training center that people will exercise the data, the real data. Then develop the massive society. Yeah, you need to have an association in this case, and bring showcase. And the last is log into SME. Mean everyone will need your technology, because if we use these features, we have a word, then data is trying to extract everything from the word, right? And then if you can add the value, then data will be the information, then give the value to the public. If everyone will use your information and then also give some benefit here, then there will be a knowledge. They come to the university, they come to whatever, the training centers, there will be a knowledge. Then in the end, if this knowledge will be benefited to all people, then we'll come to the wisdom. Then any regulation will follow you. So means, if you can come with many things that make everyone get the benefits, I think the regulation is just follow. You can use the example like a project, yeah, because they all already give benefit to many people to raise their income, also give job creation. Then the policy of the government just follow. So this is the tips, yeah. I think it's not so frightening for the blockchain. It's just come to this country, and then we will support. But again, what our colleagues say is just to give like a sign that even we can work with the innovation, but in the other side, sometimes people want to take the benefits in illegal ways. So that's why we have to take a precaution. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. For the good presentation. So next will be our panel discussion, because we don't have any time right now. So there will be one question to the panelists. So the first question will be to Pak Alvin from OJK. So our question is there any OJK roadmap about blockchain and cryptocurrency in the future, and if what ecosystem that will be built by OJK in the future?
Okay, thank you very much. We have standpoint. Can I stand it? Can someone help me about my presentation? Because this is very important for us. What is stand position of the OJK about the blockchain and the cryptocurrency in the future? So, and related with the fintech peer-to-peer lending ecosystem. So in OJK we have made what we call it as the ecosystem of the fintech lending. The ecosystem paling belakang. Oke, stop. Agak ke bawah sedikit supaya kelihatan enak. Nah, ke bawah sedikit. Nah, yang saya mau gambar kotak-kotak itu loh. Nah, ya. So this is what we call the ecosystem of the fintech lending. through the fintech peer-to-peer lending, it will connect to the e-commerce and something like that, and all of this kind of boxes, number one, number two. But this is our roadmap also. We will start on 2020 to use the blockchain system for the fintech peer-to-peer lending system in Indonesia. Not only OJK as a regulator, but also all the fintech lending industry. One of the we will implement in 2020 is the host-to-host supervision. All the server, each server from the fintech peer-to-peer lending will connect it to the OJK. When we will, and OJK also will change the supervision to the financial industry, especially the fintech. It really goes to host on blockchain. Next. So this is our roadmap, the fintech lending. Right now, we are in the phase of the consolidation, penetration, and collaboration. But as I said to you before, by end of 2019 or 2020, we will start blockchain and crypto technology as a part of the fintech peer-to-peer lending. But again, this is based on the regulation from the BlockBali or Ministry of Trade. But the blockchain itself, for the system, yes, we're gonna implement it as our roadmap and ecosystem and fintech peer-to-peer lending on 2020. So, from standing position of OJK, that's blockchain as a system, this is very useful. We know it's very powerful, very futuristic, and we will combine it to the fintech peer-to-peer lending in the future. That's our future roadmap and view about the blockchain itself.
Okay. Thank you, Marvin, for the answer. And another question is to Pak Nyoman. Yeah. So the question is how to protect business from criminal, and what is the consequences if we don't protect?
Okay, thank you for the question. It's just like I mentioned in my previous slide, that you need to understand the risk first. When you understand the risk, you have to coordinate to mitigate this risk. With who? With the government. Protect your business from the customer, from your partner, from your investors. Make sure that they use legal money into your business. So, according to the FATF standard, it's an international standard. It's applicable to all the countries. It's not just only for Indonesia, but also for other countries. Just very new updating on the standard. Standard number 15, FATF recommendation number 15, mentioning that virtual asset service providers should be subject to the same requirements and oversight as financial institution. As a bank, as a capital market, you treat it the same. What you need to do, you have to do a customer due diligence. A simple what is KYC, know your customer. In doing ongoing monitoring, record keeping, reporting a suspicious transaction. And you also should be licensed and registered, subject to monitoring and compliance by the supervisors. So you need to be coordinated with a government and to mitigate this risk, to make your business going concerns or increase or growing in the futures. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pak Nyoman, for the answer. And the last question is to Dr. Edi from Deputy Menteri Moneter dan Neraca Pembayaran. So the question will be how government using decentralized technology rather than centralized?
Yeah, because we now get the experience from the OSS that centralistic data sometimes is good, but the other one is also have a problem, because when we deal with many local government interests, there is a lot of various interests there. So it means that we need to have a good system, yeah, the technology, then all interests will be accommodated inside of the system. So I believe that the technology now is really really good for that reason. But in the things we need to get the reason is security reasons or authority reasons. Security reason, we can put this thing into the technology, but the authority reason, we need to have regulations.
So the second question is how government feel about blockchain technology, also cryptocurrency in the future?
Yeah, that I think it's a good opportunity to us, and then governments really welcome with this technology, but we need to have a step-by-step process, and then we really understand why still prohibited whatever many reasons about the security, but we still believe that someday I think everything will be ruled, because I already said to my colleagues in the meeting, look, the players of the crypto asset is still young. So mean if we block with the regulation right now, they just wait until the next era, the next regime, until they get the authority, they get the approval. Then okay. So but we lost the moment, right? They're still young. So we're just waiting the time. So why then we not start from now to regulate everything, rather than we have to wait until we lost the generation. Thank you.
Okay, everybody, our panel discussion is already finished, and please give applause. Yeah. Give applause to the three panelists. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Dhani, Pak Alvin, Pak Nyoman, and Dr. Eddie for giving your expertise. I would like now to call upon our next presenter, Dr. Richard Satur, as Chief Executive Officer of D Clinic. Dr. Satur has worked in IT for over 30 years, originally a university senior lecturer and researcher at the Victoria University of Technology and University of Melbourne. Dr. Satur set up an IT development company, building enterprise solutions for major corporates throughout the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm applause for Dr. Satur.
So hello everyone. Actually I'll stand here. So you're probably guessing that I'm not Indonesian. Okay. I don't know what gives it away, but I'm actually from Australia. I come to Bali very often. In fact, I would argue that most Australians think of Bali as the 8th state of Australia, and rightly so. It's beautiful. So thank you very much. I appreciate you waiting around just before lunch. I'm also aware that lunch starts in about 15 minutes. So I am going to try my best to make sure that I go right through lunch. I'm going to make sure you all miss lunch listening to me. No. I'll take 15 minutes, okay? I won't take all the time. So, I am the CEO of D Clinic, and I don't know if you're aware, but at the moment, Australia is negotiating a fair trade agreement with Indonesia. It's very big. Sorry? Free. So, consider my appearance over here as an early adopter of that agreement. The other thing I will say is that I will be making very, very big statements. Now, I make them to you because I really believe them, and I'm hoping I'm going to challenge you on some of these statements. I also won't talk about our company. What I'm going to talk about is where I think blockchain is going to be revolutionary. And one of the areas that I think blockchain is going to absolutely change the way we do business is healthcare. Healthcare touches all of us. All right? You either get access to healthcare or you don't get access to healthcare, but in any event, healthcare touches all of us. And I think blockchain has so much to offer, and I am going to be an advocate for it. So once again, I'm going to make very big statements and I'm going to challenge all of you. So there I am, I'm sitting in my chair over there, and I'm going to read you a lunchtime story. So Mum, Dad, why can't I own my health record? And my claim to you is I think you can. In fact, you should own a health record, and I think healthcare needs blockchain. In fact, my first big statement is I think without blockchain, healthcare is doomed. So this is my bedtime story. So there I am again. Okay. By the way, I drew all these diagrams. No, I didn't. I'm lying. Someone else drew them. So the first thing is, I'm in a foreign country. Let me give you a real case scenario here. I'm in a foreign country, or I can't communicate my health position, or I can't even remember the drugs that I take. Help. I'm in trouble. By the way, this is a very good likeness of our esteemed Dr. Robbie Tung over there. You'll probably recognize some of these caricatures, by the way. And so Dr. Robbie tells me, he says, oh, no problem here. You see, at the moment, healthcare data is siloed around the world. Meaning healthcare data exists in individual silos around the world. But you know what? If we adopt a distributed ledger or blockchain approach to how we work with that data, we can be beneficial for you. So let me give you a scenario. Sorry, Liz. So let's look at a real world example. So there you go. There's a patient. By the way, this poor patient has been born without a body. It's very sad. So there's a patient in the center saying that I want a positive outcome. I want you to help me. I need healthcare help. So what do you recommend, Dr. Robbie? Well, let me send a referral to a wellness expert I know. Do I have your consent? Now that's very important, that part. Do I have your consent? And the patient responds, yes, please. So I will invite them and give them access to my findings too. I've just had a look at their record, and yes, I can help them. Now, that interaction you just saw over there seems like a very simple interaction, but I guarantee you that most healthcare around the world can't even perform that interaction. And that's a small interaction. That's a tiny interaction. So what we're trying to do, and here again I'm going to challenge you, is any interaction we should capture. Not just the one with the doctor, but any interaction. In fact, I challenge you that care teams can be not just the doctor, but wellness experts. They can be specialists. In fact, they could even be family members. So if you have a carer in your family, why can't they contribute to your care? And I'm telling you, blockchain can do this. So for example, he's not my regular patient, says Dr. Robbie Tung. Remember, I'm telling you a bedtime story here, okay? So go with the flow. So he's not my regular patient. You have my consent. Well, thank you. I think I'll hand this over to a nurse. Look at the complexity of the interactions, because this is now typically what happens in healthcare. So thank you for calling me. I'll add some data. Hang on, now I'll bring in the lab because I need to do some blood tests. By example, those blood tests might have irregularity, so now other specialists get involved. Now family members get involved, and the family members start to say, hang on, we need to help here. We can help because we're at home, we're with the patient, we're with the consumer. And by the way, you'll notice that even though I've been mentioning the word patient, even though I've been calling them patients, to me, they are all consumers because we are all consumers of healthcare. So we should be obtaining the best healthcare possible. So our healthcare should be tracking all these interactions. So why does it not? So once again, they can now help to do things like help the consumer to now do their regular exercise, for example. So family members can get involved in their healthcare. Notifications, and I'll get back to that in a minute. And then, of course, we could get wellness experts involved. So the idea being is that each time you've got proper interactions going around with a care team, with the patient at the center. And my argument is that's exactly what blockchain can do for us. So now, Dr. Robbie Tung and the wellness expert can now interact as part of a care team. So now they're actually working efficiently. So governments and organizations can start to reduce their healthcare costs. How is that possible? Well, if the interactions are being captured and the interactions are actually known, then of course you're going to start reducing health costs because you do things like you don't send them on unwanted tests. You don't do unwanted procedures. You actually target the patient. In fact, one of the benefits of blockchain is you now actually can do preventative medicine, which is enormous. Insurance companies can start to provide real services. Let me ask you this. Which insurance company on the planet would not want to make money off well people? If you are well, if you are healthy, then the insurance company is getting premiums and at the same time is helping you stay well by offering you targeted services. I mean, I'm not going to ask you to put your hand up, but how many of you, every time you go see a doctor, you have to fill in the same form again and again and again and again? Well, why is that? Why do we have to do that? Why can't they just know about me? In fact, we can now start to go to evidence-based positive outcomes. That's the benefit of what we get here. By the way, I have no doubt that over lunch a number of you are going to come and challenge me on this, so that's good. I welcome that. And in fact, now we can start to drive positive health outcomes, which is ideally what we want to do. Pharmaceutical companies are going to benefit from this because now they can target drugs. In fact, think of it like this. If a drug, for example, has a lifespan, you can now notify the patient directly. You shouldn't be taking this, you should now be taking this. If they don't take their drugs, then why can't the system alert? I mean, these are simple things. And my contention is blockchain will give you this. So, my argument is there's 4 keys to success. By the way, if any of you make millions of dollars from this, you owe me 10%. Okay? There are 4 keys to success here, in my opinion. First one is the need for blockchain. There is no, should we do it? We should be doing it. There's no question here. We shouldn't be even having the debate. What we should be doing is doing lots of pilots, doing lots of setups, and actually demonstrating that the technology actually works and is beneficial. By the way, by the way, I come with 12 years of experience on a patient health record from Australia. What we call the My Health record. You can Google that and you can see what an interesting ride that My Health record or that patient record has had. I was one of the original developers on that, so it's been a really interesting journey. And that is not blockchain enabled, by the way. Okay. The other three I say to you is that you need shared care planning. So if any of you know what that means, if you don't know what that means rather, it's about working in a care team. So the idea is that you don't just have a one-on-one interaction, you should be having many interactions. And you should be allowed to increase your care team, decrease your care team. If a gym membership, if you go to the gym to stay fit, that should be part of your care team. I think where cryptocurrency has a really unique position is rewarding the patient. Why not reward them? If they stay healthy, let's reward patients. That's good for business, it's good for governments, it's good for outcomes. So let's reward the patient. And I think that's where cryptocurrency has a very, very significant role to play. And I'm not just saying that for our coins, I'm saying that for any health coins. It should not matter. And integration and interoperability, we all talk about it. In fact, Dr. Eddie, just before, mentioned it as being a very key requirement. Systems need to talk to other systems. So interoperability, you get that. So I'm about to give you a little piece of IP, okay? So this is how I think it should be tackled. All right, so this is my little piece of IP. By the way, my slides are very high level, okay? So there's no deep detail or anything. My contention is that you need to have transactional blockchains. You need to have regulatory and consent blockchains, and you need to have standards-based clinical model blockchains. In other words, I'm saying to you there's no one blockchain that can do this. In fact, I'm telling you that I don't think there is a single available blockchain right now that can do this. We all say hybrid blockchains. All of us say it. We say hybrid blockchains, and we think that somehow saying the word hybrid blockchain somehow means that we can do it. I think it's the connectivity of these blockchains that are going to enable us to do it. I think that is more important. And then, of course, sitting on top of that is your actual blockchain access to all of your patients and your clinicians and your care team members. I think shared care planning. I think a fundamental inclusion of blockchain needs to be the patient at the center. And I think you need to include the whole care team. So if I look at this care team, why not start rewarding them? I'm just going to skim through this. Why not have the patient communicate back to the caregivers through surveys? Let the patient contribute to their care. Why not? All that's going to happen is that record is going to get more and more rich. Why not give inducements back to organizations like pharmaceuticals and specialists so that they do targeted work as opposed to a scattergun approach? So again, alerts is going to be a very key component of keeping that as a positive outcome. And most importantly is, why can't my family benefit from my health? If my family participate in my health, why not reward them too? They're only making me more cost effective for government bodies and organizations. So my argument is that rewarding people is going to be critical to the success of healthcare. And I did my exercise. So, what's missing from all of this? Interoperability. whatever we do, I think governments and I think organizations need to start coming together to provide interoperability. Now, this next bit over here is a bit of technical thing. But the point being is that they need to start developing standards for interoperability. That's the key. You don't want to go to a hospital and the hospital not know about you and you have to fill in another form. So, and now for the good news, because I don't want any of you to go to lunch thinking, oh my God, we're not going to solve healthcare here. Rest assured, there are very good companies working on this. I would include ours as well too, by the way. By the way, that's the only time I'll mention the company now. But there are good companies working on this, small and big, and they realize that by building dedicated healthcare blockchains, that's how you're going to solve the healthcare. So, thank you very much. Hopefully that was nice and short. You're all going to have some lunch. By the way, I welcome questions. If you don't want to ask me a question now, you can later. And just for the record, I say to you that blockchain is a solution to healthcare's brave new world. And all the illustrations were drawn by a local artist. She's fantastic. So she helped me draw all of these illustrations. So do I have any questions? You are all very hungry. I can tell. I might just stand here for another 5 minutes then, just to see what you will all do. Now, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a good lunch, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Richard, for the integral session on blockchain in healthcare. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a quick lunch break, and